You build a small VPS, install SSH, and by lunch off.log is full of failed password attempts from addresses you have never heard of. The obvious search is, change SSH port, move it from 22 to 2222, and the log gets quiet. That feels like winning, but what did you actually improve? Today we separate two things administrators often mix together: reducing internet background noise and securing SSH access. A port change can help with the first. It is not a substitute for the second. SSH listens on TCP port 22 because that is the registered default. Clients assume it, firewalls have canned rules for it, monitoring tools check it, and documentation examples usually omit the port because 22 is implied. Changing the SSH port means telling SSHD to listen on a different TCP port, then teaching every client, firewall, load balancer, security group, and runbook about that change. The reason people do it is simple. Most automated internet scans try port 22 first. If your daemon is not there, many low-effort probes move on. That reduces log volume. Mechanically, nothing magical happens. SSHD binds a socket on another TCP port. Your packets still go to the same daemon, running the same OpenSSH code, using the same host keys, accounts, authentication rules, and logging. The client must specify the port with SSH-P2222 or store it in SSH config. Network controls must also match the new destination port. A full port scan can still find SSH because the protocol banner and handshake are recognizable. So the benefit is filtering out the laziest background traffic. Treat it like moving the front desk to a side door, not like adding a lock. Here are the core lines. In SSHD config, the directive is port, capital P, followed by the number. Put port 2022 in /etc SSH SSHD config, or in a drop-in under /etc SSH SSHD config D if your main config includes that directory. Before touching the running service, run sudo sshd-t. That validates syntax and catches bad directives. Next, open the firewall before you reload SSH. On Ubuntu with UFW, allow 2022/TCP. On firewalld systems, add the port permanently as shown, then reload firewalld. These are allow rules only. They do not change authentication, accounts, keys, or exposure by themselves. A safe cutover keeps your existing session open. Imagine a remote server where port 22 currently works. First, add port 2222 and validate with SSHD-T. Second, allow 2222 in the host firewall and in any cloud firewall or security group. If you used firewalld permanent rules, reload firewalld. Third, reload SSH, not restart if you can avoid it. On many systems the unit is SSHD, on Debian and Ubuntu it may be SSH, so the on-screen line tries both. Now open a second terminal and connect with SSH-P2222, user at host. Confirm SSHD is listening with SS. Only after that do you consider closing 22. The first common mistake is closing port 22 before testing the new path. That is how people lock themselves out. The second is forgetting an outer firewall. Cloud security groups, provider panels, office firewalls, and router NAT rules all have to agree. The third shows up on SE Linux enforcing systems, especially RHEL family hosts. Even if SSHD config says port 2222 and the firewall allows it, SE Linux may deny binding to that port unless it is labeled SSH port T. Use summonage as shown. If the port already exists under another type, modify rather than add. Security note: changing ports is noise control, not authentication control. If SSH is exposed to the internet, assume it will be found. That is the honest starting point. The defense order is not port first. Start with keys and disable password login where your operations allow it. Add MFA for administrators when the environment supports it, such as PAM-based MFA or hardware-backed workflows. Restrict source IPs with security groups, firewalls, VPNs, or a bastion host. Keep OpenSSH patched. Log authentication events and alert on unusual success, not just failure. After those controls, moving from 22 to another port is fine as a log noise reduction step. Practice this only on your own VM or a machine where you have console access. Set port 2222, validate with SSHD-T, allow 2222, and reload SSH while keeping your original session open. From a second terminal, Connect with SSH-P2222. Watch the logs and confirm the listener with SS. If this is a disposable local lab and you have console access, try deleting the UFW allow rule for 22 and prove the new path still works. Then put 22 back or revert the config. The skill is not memorizing 2222, the skill is changing network access without cutting off administration. 3 beats to keep. 1. If you change SSH port, expect less drive-by log noise, not real security by itself. 2. Update every firewall path before you reload SSHD, and test from a second session before closing 22. 3. The real controls are keys, MFA for administrators, source IP restrictions, patching and detection. Tomorrow we keep building this foundations tier with another SSH topic, one piece at a time. New SSH episode daily on this channel, and the daily ranked CVE brief is linked in the description for the vulnerabilities that actually need your attention.